With a strong focus in many areas on gender equity and support for women in education in the workplace, our next guest says there's a need to pay some attention to what's happening for men and boys. Across Canada, girls are outperforming boys in every level of education, according to numbers from Stats Canada. Women now make up the majority of university degree holders, and while women's participation in the workforce is on the rise, the opposite is true for men. Joining me from Philadelphia is author of Boys Adrift, Girls on the Edge. Leonard Sax joins us on Your Morning. Good morning to you. All right, so Leonard, let me ask you. All right, let's start off with why are women outperforming men in just about every level of education in the country?
Well, it depends in part on who you ask. There's good researchers who have said, look, these changes are due to changes in the global marketplace and the economy. They'll say, look, young men see what's going on around them. They see that young women are graduating from university, that they're outperforming them, that they're earning good wages. And these scholars say young men are confused about their role in the global marketplace of the 21st century. They're not going to be the primary breadwinner anymore. I'm pretty sure that's wrong. And the reason I'm pretty sure that's wrong is I've met with so many boys in Canadian schools and American schools, young boys, grade 1, grade 2. So I was visiting this school. I was in the principal's office waiting to talk to the principal. There were about a half a dozen boys there, sent down because they'd done something wrong. And I asked them, what do you think about school? And every one of these boys says, oh, I hate school. School's for girls. And I said, why don't you like school? Why aren't you motivated to do well in school? And not one of these boys said anything like, well, I'm confused about my role in the global marketplace of the 21st century. They didn't say that. They said, hey, Jason and me were pointing fingers at each other saying, bang, bang, you're dead. And we got in trouble. Brett and me were throwing snowballs at each other on school property and we got in trouble. Another boy said, the art teacher said you could draw whatever you want. And I drew a picture of me chopping the head off a dragon, and they sent me down to, for some kind of evaluation. Boys doing things that boys have always done, pointing fingers at each other, saying, bang, bang, you're dead, throwing snowballs, now gets you in trouble. And that's not the whole story, but it's a significant chunk of the story. And the reason I'm sure this makes a difference is because I've visited schools in Canada that get this and do things differently. For example, St. Andrews, a school in Aurora, just north of Toronto, they've got a rule. If you want to throw snowballs, go to the football field. If you don't want to throw snowballs, then don't go to the football field. And they make the school friendly to boys. You can make a school boy-friendly without making it unfriendly to girls. And when you
It looks like we're having a bit of a technical issue with Leonard. I had so many questions to ask him about that story, too. Oh, it looks like we may have Leonard back. Leonard, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, we just lost you for a moment there, but I do want to ask you, so are you placing the blame on educators?
No, I don't like to use the term blame. Educators have made decisions that seemed rational from the educator's perspective. But the unintended result is boys who regard school as unfriendly to boys. Again, as I was just saying, you can make the school friendly to boys without making it unfriendly to girls.
Are we seeing men enter industries?
But that's not the whole story.
Yeah, I'm going to ask you this, Leonard. Are we seeing men enter industries that are dominated by women? I mean, how is this playing out later when they're entering their careers?
No, we're not seeing men enter industries like elementary education or nursing in numbers anything like what we're seeing women enter industries that were traditionally male-dominated. You look across Canada, veterinary schools, women now outnumber men 70-30. Medical school, women outnumber men 57-43. Université Laval in Quebec, women outnumber men 74-26. So I think it's great that more women are in medical school and in veterinary school. The question is, why aren't men keeping up? Why didn't we level off at 50-50? And a big part of it is because the boys are not motivated And the question then is, why aren't they motivated? I think we can learn from Canadian schools that I described a moment ago that are very successful in engaging and motivating boys. It doesn't cost anything to create a school that's friendly to boys without making it unfriendly to girls.
Author of Boys Adrift, Girls on the Edge, Leonard Sax, we really appreciate your time this morning.